All right, how's it going, Professor Craig and Evan, if you're listening? I'm here going over your video. Um, I clicked on the link that was in the discussion board just to see your video. Here I am, about to critique it. This is a fair warning that I'm a little bit of a harsh critiquer, and I do this because I want you to improve your work. I want everybody to improve their work. And if I keep giving you like positive feedback on what you did good, what you did bad, um, you know, we won't grow as artists. We have to constantly give ourselves the things that we did bad and how we can improve it. And so I'm going to do my best with you. Don't take it too harshly. We're all just artists. We're all trying to learn together. And here we go. So, first things first, I'm just going to let you know that I am watching it at a 1.25 speed, and I'm doing this because your video is, 5 minutes, and I kind of want to cut this down as fast as possible, get through it really quick, and also that I already watched the video, and I found that there is a lot of dead time. There's a lot of time where, as the viewer watching, there's not a whole lot going on. We see Pob going through, looking around at all these different locations. He looks around here and there. There's not a whole lot going on. So I cut it down to 1.25 speed, and I think that you could do the same. If you eliminate a lot of the time that Pob is just looking around, because we see him looking around multiple times for long periods of times, you could really cut down the video and bring it closer to like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, and it'll really progress the story. It'll keep things interesting, and the viewers will stay interested watching, and they won't get bored or anything like that. So here we go. I'm going to go through your video, and let's just go through the critique. All right, so I already like where this has started. Like I think I said it earlier in the discussion board, I love your intro scene. This is super, super awesome. First of all, the space kind of has this purplish tint to it, and then the meteor, or asteroid, or comet, whatever you want to call it, it has like this orange flame to it, which is super awesome, complementary colors. And there's a lot of animation going on the comet, which keeps the focus on the comet. So we're going to continue on forward, and there it goes. And then there's the intro scene. This really reminds me of Wall-E, one of your references that you're going through. And the logo is super awesome, super futuristic. It's really cool, right? And so we swoop down into I guess the planet, I'll say. And I already see like the comet, way back here looks super huge. We don't know how big it is because I guess it's so close to the camera. But as soon as we get towards here, the comet looks super tiny compared to these giant dunes in the background. Let's see if I can catch it as it flies by. There we go. Oh, well, you saw it for a split second. But it looks like, a tiny little rock. I suggest, like, I don't know, maybe it's a giant comet, maybe Pob was in the shell, he went through the sky and he crashed behind these dunes. We don't have to know how big he really is, but it kind of sets the picture of he's in this giant shell, and it's huge. It's this huge rock that's hurtling towards the planet, and this giant the giant crash. This is huge, and it covers the entire camera. And I'm sure there's more animation over on the other side here too. So if you put it like behind this dune, it'll look awesome. We get to see this giant explosion in all of its glory. It looks amazing. Yeah, there we go. You can even put it over here behind this dune. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just a suggestion. You don't have to take it too much. And then we see the smoke, and there is Pob. And Pob is looking around and looking at, I guess, for life forms or something. There's also no audio yet, which is okay. I didn't really have audio in mine either, up until recently today. So he's looking around. I see how he is flat, like Paper Mario, which is alright. It's really cool. It's cool, but there are certain instances where it kind of looks a little bit weird. But we'll get to that. All right, so he's looking around. Something interesting is if he's flat, his shadow is like more round, right? Emphasizing that he is a round, kind of like a ball. But I don't know. It's just a critique. I'm nitpicking right now. All right, so he looks around. He's going around, looking, exploring. He's in the desert. All right, and now with scenes like this, and this kind of happens kind of often, we don't really know how big Pob is. And some of the things that we do know how big is we could clearly see these this grass, and we kind of, as the viewer, we kind of can gauge how big that grass is. And as we're looking, all right, we see that this grass here is this big. It's probably up to my knees, maybe a little bit higher than my knees. And as Pob is kind of close to it, we can see like, okay, Pob is probably like up to my hips when he's floating like this, right? And then when he goes way back there, like I think I would be maybe as big as my mouse when I'm way over there. And then Pob is ginormous. He's huge. So there's a little bit of a scale issue here where the further back he goes, the bigger he physically gets. And then the closer he gets to the camera, he goes back to normal again. So there we go. He flips around, and he keeps missing this creature that runs in front of the camera. Just looking around, and here we go. It fades out. All right. And then we go to this scene here. Probably some Arizona desert. All right, there's Pob again. And again, it has to be a little bit more consistent scaling. Pob is really close to the camera. I think if I was to stand in this scene here, the top of my head would probably hit this branch, right? And then my knees would be roughly here. So let's see Pob. Pob is like super tiny. He's maybe like 2 feet tall, maybe as tall as like a little dog or something like that. So if Pob was like maybe as big as like up to this hip, that'll be awesome. That'll look great. All right. So we see him. He's looking around. Also, he's very low on the screen. I remember in After Effects, you have this film gauge, right? And where you want most of your action inside the center of the screen. So I think if you scale him up and bring him above this line here, it'll look great. It'll look good. All right. Plus, he's kind of intersecting with the cursor here. All right, or with the time bar. All right, so here we go. All right, he's walking around. He's looking around. Also, he's getting a little bit bigger the further back he goes. So keep that in mind. All right, he's looking around. There we go, and he goes off screen. All right, this looks pretty good. All right, and this animation happens really, really fast. It's a lot for the viewer to take in. It's like, oh, there's this creature here, and there's this text box coming up at the same time, and we want things to happen kind of like dominoes. First, Pob turns, then the creature comes out, and then the text box comes out, and we want to have it like dominoes so the viewer can understand what's going on, like one thing at a time. You wanna look at the video how the viewer is going to look at the video and how they're going to register what's going on. Pob turns, and then both these things happen at the same time. Just make it happen one at a time. You know, he comes out, give it like a split second, and then the text box comes out, and then he starts speaking. You know, and then, oh, okay, he's the Overlord. I'm sure you're gonna have audio for this as well. All right, and then there's the creature that comes by again, and there he is. There's the creature. I think he's a Quip. His name is. All right, he's looking. There we go. And you can kind of, I'm watching it at 1.25 speed. You can kind of feel like it's not even at 1.25 speed, It feels like it's at normal speed. So you can probably, hasten up the video like that as well. Alright, here we go. Like, this panning motion happens so slowly. As the viewer, like, okay, we kind of understand we are in the desert, we're in this location. Pick it up a little bit. Pick it up. Alright, so here we go. And this is kind of a weird segment here. I'm guessing that this creature, this Quip, is guiding Pob to his leader. And as this is happening, here we go. As this is happening, we see this, and this is kind of weird. So I think these are two separate planes. You could probably just bring them closer together so we don't see that. Or you can have a split frame where this is completely parallel to the camera, so it almost looks invisible. And during that one frame, you can switch the planes so that we now see the backside, and it'll look seamless. Right? And you can probably do the same thing for Pob if you wanted to do that too. Or you can make them, 3D models and, have one side textured the front of Pob, the other side textured as the back of Pob. You could do that as well if you wanted to. Alright, and the same thing happens to Pob. Also, this is just nitpicking. For Pob, when we see them at their most flattest, like right here, it'll be kind of cool to have it at the center of the screen. That's just me being nitpicky. This way, one half of the screen, from this side over, we see them at the front face, and then from the middle side over to the left, we see them on the back face. All right. So, all right, going through, they're walking. There we go. There's a lot of dead time here. Probably just cut it out. Alright, and now for this background here, I don't really care too much for this background. There is a lot going on. We see so many dark lines, and we're kind of squinting our eyes to see where are we, what's going on. Looking at this, it looks very flat. It looks like a very flat background. So possibly find another background, or I'm not sure. But this motion also happens very fast. You don't really see the Quip or Pob running away from it. So I would suggest find a new background. Probably a little bit darker. This way the Quip and Pob looks more visible. And then give that background, let's just look at it for a split second, understand where we are, and then have the Quip and Pob run through, give them like a second to run through, let us understand like, oh, there's Quip and the Pob and they're running. And then we'll have the giant lizard monster come after them. Then we'll understand, oh, they're running away from this lizard monster. Alright, and they're running again. And I got this fade. And then there we go. Alright, they're in this location now. And this is me being nitpicky again, but Pob, and when we look at Pob and then we look at these quips, they look like they're in two separate locations. Um, this is super bushy, and there's a lot of red mountains here. And then when we look behind Pob, let's see, he's in this complete desert area. Like there's nothing there. It's not even the same color scheme. We want to maintain the same color scheme when we're in a certain area. This way the viewer knows uh, Pob is not 10 miles away in the morning, and then this is 10 miles in one direction, and this looks like it's in the afternoon, like almost sundown. All right, so there's the quips. Here we go. There's more quips. They're coming out very, very slowly. Right, there we go. And then there's Pob. Yeah, sentient, yes, yes, yep. Okay. Alright, yeah, we get it. Yeah, they're all sentient. Then there's the Elder speaking, home, and they all say home. I guess they're mentioning that this is their home. Alright, and then there's the alien. Now this is much better with the alien coming out and then the text coming through. I'd also suggest making the alien a little bit more prominent, more obvious. He's very, 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 very transparent, especially with the sky background. So just keep that in mind, I guess. All right, yep, and he says no. I guess just make sure the X follows along with Pob's bouncing, because it's kind of stationary. And it says, okay, return. And then he goes. And then he goes home. And then they go home, I guess. Alright, and they're all dancing. I don't know if they understand. And then that's it. The end. So, cool. I mean, it's a cool video. It has a story and a plot to it, and it's very interesting to look at, especially, this one here. But yeah, I guess that was my critique. I hope you benefit from it somehow. And yeah, there you go. All right, have a good one.